So, Larry, just kind of before moving on to Iran, I just want to kind of uh, bring home one observation. Operation in Syria. From Pakistani experience, I record that in 1980s, when Afghan Jihad was launched by CIA, by Pakistani intelligence services, and Saudi Arabia combined, this
Mhm.
looks like a kind of carbon copy, being Turkey being used as a kind of same the same vein as Pakistan used, where across the border, these Islamic jihadists were prepared and then launched against, in 1980s against Afghanistan and now in Syria, just now. Do you think this guy, Erdogan, you think his reign, his, regime is about to end? Because I remember when this Afghan jihad actually ended, Ziaul Haq, the then dictator of Pakistan, suddenly, died in, mysterious plane crash. So what do you think these, because Afghan has been used by the West, do you think they will
Yeah.
allow him to, kind of, consolidate power? Do you think his regime is, I think it's about to end. I kind of, because I'm related that operation in 80s to this operation now. What do you think is the fate of Afghan's, regime?
Uh, For Erdogan and the Turks, I don't think it ends well. We've got a long history of countries allowing themselves to be used as pawns of the United States. And frankly, Pakistan is one of those. Now, and this is not intended as an insult, but the Pakistanis leaders, both military intelligence with an ISI, have always sort of assumed that they're smart enough to control the United States. And I don't blame them for assuming that they're at least as smart, if not smarter than the United States, because we've done a lot of stupid stuff. But inevitably, just by the sheer weight of its, size of the United States, those countries become nothing more than pawns that are expendable, as in any game of chess. Just look at the previous pawns, what's happened to them, whether DM in Vietnam, uh, with the Saddam Hussein in Iraq, Manuel Noriega in Panama, the Muammar Gaddafi after he cut a deal with the CIA to give up weapons of mass destruction, and CIA betrayed him, and he winds up dead. And I'm not trying to suggest that people like Saddam, Noriega, Gaddafi were morally upright men and men of great character. But neither is it this. By the same token, the U.S. leaders don't have much to brag about. As an example, one of the criticisms leveled at Vladimir Putin was he's supposedly ordered the assassination of about 12 people. Oh, really? How many people died on the orders of George W. Bush with the invasions of Afghanistan and the invasions of Iraq? More than 1 million? And so Vladimir Putin's the bad guy and George W. Bush is the good guy? Come on. So by agreeing to become a pawn, I understand why Turkey is doing that. I mean, Turkey's got, historically, Turkey was the man. They were the power there in West Asia or the Levant for 500 years. They were actually a ruling empire for much longer than the United States has been a ruling empire. And so trying to recapture some of that former glory is definitely a motivation for Recep Erdogan. But they've entered into a bargain now where Erdogan's not necessarily going to have full control over the events. And particularly the tendency of these radical Sunni Salafist Deobandi groups is, have you ever seen a ball of mercury? it creates a nice orb. And if you hit it with a hard object, it fragments. Still the same constituent elements, but it's all these different parts. That's exactly what these groups, whether we're talking Al Qaeda, ISIS, Al Nusra, or HTS, that's what they're all like. They're very rigid theologically, and in that rigidity, they can broker no compromise with someone else, even though the fact is, to a foreigner, a Christian, looking in on these Islamic groups, they would like say, what's the difference? There's no, they all believe in Allah. They all believe in the requirement of prayer each time, each day, five prayers. They all believe in the need to commit to the Hajj. So there's this saying, like, why the differences? But you know how it is. And I've seen the same phenomena within Christianity, the same phenomena within Judaism, where these ultra-religious sects, they start arguing over details. So these Islamist groups are going to splinter, fragment, and Erdogan's not going to be able to control them. And some are going to be beheading, some are going to be murdering Christians, and it's going to really create a nightmare for him. So this is not going to bring peace. That's ostensibly we always engage in these military adventures. At least that's how the American people are sold on these. To bring peace, freedom, democracy.